Between 1971 and 1972, 6 young African-American girls vanished from the streets of Washington, D.C., only to be found dead along freeways and wooded areas. The killer taunted police with phone calls, left cryptic clues at crime scenes, and then disappeared into the shadows forever. This is the story of the Freeway Phantom, one of America's most notorious unsolved serial killer cases that terrorized the nation's capital and left investigators baffled for over 50 years. Who was this phantom who could strike without warning and vanish without a trace? And why, despite decades of investigation and modern forensic advances, does this case remain one of the FBI's most haunting cold cases? But before we dive in, this video contains explicit descriptions of violence, sexual assault, and murder. It is intended for mature audiences, so viewer discretion is strongly advised. As always, remember to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on post notifications to stay up to date with the channel. All right, let's dive into the video. April 25, 1971. Carol Spinks was 13 years old, a bright girl with a quick laugh and a love for singing. That evening, she left her Southeast D.C. home to run an errand at the corner store, her mother's voice calling after her to hurry back. But Carol never returned. 6 days later, on May 1st, her body was found in a grassy ditch along Interstate 295, one of D.C.'s major arteries. Carol had been raped and strangled with a brutality that shook her community. Her wrists bore bruises, suggesting she'd been bound tightly, her clothes torn and disheveled. The medical examiner found traces of semen, pointing to a sexual motive, but the cause of death was clear: ligature strangulation. A thin cord, possibly a shoelace, had been pulled around her neck with such force it left deep, purple marks in her skin. Her body had lain exposed for days, abandoned to the elements. The police had nothing. No witnesses, no fingerprints, no suspects. Carol's case went cold, but the city wouldn't stay quiet for long. The Freeway Phantom was just beginning. Five months later, on September 5th, 1971, 16-year-old Darlenia Johnson vanished while walking to her summer job. On September 19th, her body was found less than a quarter mile from Carol's dump site, along Interstate 295. Like Carol, Darlenia had been sexually assaulted and strangled, her body left to decay in the open air. The similarities were chilling. Both were young black girls, taken from Southeast D.C., their lives snuffed out with cold precision. The killings didn't stop there. Between July 1971 and September 1972, 4 more girls, Brenda Crockett, Nenomoshia Yates, Brenda Woodward, and Diane Williams, met the same fate. Aged 10 to 18, all abducted from the same impoverished neighborhoods, all raped, strangled, and discarded along Interstate 295 or nearby roads. The killer was meticulous, leaving little evidence. But with Brenda Woodward's murder, he left something else. A note, tucked into her coat pocket.
This is tantamount to my insensitivity to people, especially women. I will omit the others when you catch me if you can. Freeway Phantom.
The note was a taunt, a signature. The Freeway Phantom wasn't just killing. He was playing a game, daring the police to stop him. Each crime was a study in cruelty. Brenda Crockett, only 10, was found with her hands tied behind her back, her small body showing signs of prolonged torture before death. Nenomoshia Yates had been beaten so severely her face was nearly unrecognizable. The killer wasn't just methodical, he was sadistic, reveling in the pain he inflicted. Before we continue on, if you are enjoying the video so far, please remember to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And if you don't like it, let me know down in the comments. Your support truly means everything. All right, back to the video. By 1972, D.C. was consumed by fear. 6 girls dead in 16 months, and the police were no closer to catching the killer. The investigation was plagued by problems. Jurisdictional disputes between D.C. and Maryland police, since some bodies were found just over the state line, led to lost evidence and miscommunication. Witnesses mentioned a man in a dark sedan near some abduction sites, but descriptions were vague and leads evaporated. The victims' families were left in torment. Carol Spinks's mother spoke of her daughter's love for music, how she'd hum while doing chores. Darlenia's co-workers remembered her as diligent, always early for her shift. These girls weren't just names. They were daughters, sisters, friends, stolen from their futures. But the police had little to offer. Forensic technology was primitive. No DNA was collected at the time. The Freeway Phantom seemed to vanish into the night untouchable. Decades later, the Freeway Phantom case remains unsolved, but theories have piled up like ghosts. One suspect was Robert Askins, a convicted murderer with a history of abducting women. Askins was known for leaving taunting notes at his crime scenes, eerily similar to the one found with Brenda Woodward. In 1974, police arrested him for unrelated crimes and found a knife in his car that matched wounds on some victims. But no hard evidence tied him to the Phantom's killings. Another theory points to the Green Vega Rapists, a gang active in D.C. during the early 1970s, known for abducting and assaulting women. Their crimes overlapped with the Phantom's in time and place, but their methods were chaotic, less precise. Could the Phantom have been one of their members, operating solo? Or was he someone closer to home, a cop, a neighbor, someone trusted in the community? Online, the case has sparked endless debate. On Reddit and X, users speculate about serial killers hiding in plain sight, blending into the chaos of 1970s D.C. Some argue racial bias hampered the investigation, noting the victims' marginalized backgrounds. Others compare the Phantom to the Zodiac, a killer who taunted police with cryptic messages, leaving clues that led nowhere. In October 1972, the killings stopped as suddenly as they began. No more bodies, no more notes. The Freeway Phantom faded into legend, leaving behind a trail of grief and unanswered questions. The family still hold vigils, still demanding justice. In 2006, DNA evidence from preserved crime scene materials was tested, but it was too degraded to yield results. The case remains open, a lingering wound in DC's history. The Freeway Phantom wasn't just a killer, he was a specter, exposing the cracks in a city and the failures of those meant to protect it. Who was he? A drifter? A local? A monster hiding in plain sight? We may never know. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, then check out these videos on the screen now. If you have a topic suggestion, please send it to the email in the description. And as always, remember to like, comment, share the video, and subscribe to our channel. And remember, the only thing scarier than this story is missing out on our next video.